Hi, Mike Smith here. Recently I posted a video demonstrating a WordPress or website plugin for creating a cloze question. And for language teaching, what that basically means is a gap fill kind of question, as you can see here. Now I've developed that a little bit further and more sophisticatedly integrated that with my WordPress website. And what I want to do now is demonstrate it again and offer, if any language teachers out there want this functionality on their website, then they can simply contact me and I'll help them to integrate it into their website. This may become a WordPress plugin at some stage in the future, but at this stage I don't have time to do that. So I'm happy to help people integrate it into their website. There are a few functions within this tool set that make it a little bit difficult to turn it into a standard WordPress plugin. So let's demonstrate how this works. Okay, so to explain how this quiz works, we're going back to the original text here, and the idea is to define gaps with hints and predefined answers for some of these key words. For example, this one here is a multi-word phrasal verb, and then down here is another rather unusual verb as well. So words like that throughout the text we're going to define as being the subjects of this gap or cloze. Okay, so I'm just going to build the cloze here, press that button, and you'll see that the keywords that have been predefined are initially highlighted here. And we can turn that off if we like, toggle the highlighting. If we want to make it into a printable gap fill, what we can do is turn on the gaps and then turn off the terms. As you can see what I've done there. That's the term there and that's the gap. These gaps are automatically numbered, and we can have it just like that so that the student can make a guess without much support. If we want to give them a bit of support, we can show the options there in brackets. So these are just toggleable options here, and then we can just print this page out. So it can be a printable cloze. However, if we want to make it an online quiz, we can get a little bit more clever. So I'll just toggle those options off, toggle the gaps, turn the terms back on here, got up to here. Right, so what we can now do is also insert pull down menus instead of those gaps that we had before, and in those pull down menus are the alternatives from which the student has to choose. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of the terms then. So now we've just got the numbered gaps, but they're pull down menus. And in addition to that, we've also got hints. So we're trying to steer the student to the correct choice of term here. So we can do a hint there. And then if they choose, they can check whether the answer is correct or not. Now at the moment these unchosen cloze questions here are highlighted in red, which indicate that the correct answer has not yet been selected. So if I press check close here, that will remain red because it's not the correct answer. But if I select the correct one and then check the close, it goes to a green highlight. So that's the initial feedback. But let's imagine that the student got stuck on this and checked the close and couldn't figure out why this one is wrong. So then the hint is here, but maybe they want a bit more information, an explanation of what answer is actually right, and also why the other answers are wrong. So in this case here, there's further information. And this can be toggled on or off. This text is under the control of the teacher designing the quiz, and these controls just simply provide a convenient way to display this information. Okay, so in addition to that, you can also submit the correct term, which was got up to there. I'll just check that there. Yep, okay, that's green, and take that correct term and submit it to a number of websites for a dictionary definition or concordance analysis. And you just press this button here. This will open a new window and it will submit that phrasal verb there with these spaces in. And as you can see, there's a few useful websites here that are pre-programmed into this site. So this is Reverso, which is useful. There's also NetSpeak, Just the Word, Wiki, Simple Wiki, Wikipedia, and Wiktionary. Wiktionary is quite good for phrasal verbs. There's dictionary.com, thesaurus.com. Not so good for this phrasal verb. WordNick, which is interesting for advanced writing. Again, not very useful for this particular phrasal verb. And then some concordance tools. Okay, so that, as you can see at the top there, that opened in a new tab. It's also possible to open it on the page. I'll just demonstrate that. So the same embedded search functions are going to open in a window down here. As you can see, it's the same information. Okay, right, so I'll just tidy that up, close all that up. And obviously also, in addition to checking answers, you can also see the correct answers there. So that basically allows the teacher to provide an online quiz to their students with hints. And those hints can be very simple, or they can be full of multimedia, as is shown here. You can also have it so that on this website, for example, in this case, the further explanation is in fact dependent on the student logging into your website. So on my website, I've got a membership plugin, and that allows me to encourage students to become members on my site, or perhaps even to pay a fee for this further explanation. So all of those functions are possible as well. And in addition to that, this button here, as you can see on the top left here, many WordPress websites have a sidebar, and so I've just added this little toggle button here to allow us to use the full width of the defined page on that website, and that makes a bit more sense here. So that's one of the aspects that would make it difficult to make this a standard WordPress plugin, because it depends on the theme. Okay, so that is a demonstration of how the cloze function actually works from a teacher's and a student's point of view. Okay, so the next step, of course, is to describe how the teacher actually creates these gaps and these hints. So I'm just going to quickly present how that happens. There are two ways to do it. In this case here, we've got a fairly simple hint, and then we've got a little bit more complex explanation. And the way that that's done, so that's for, let's see, oh, here we go. Okay, so the actual word in the text was got up to. What I've done is I've wrapped it in span tag here, and I've given it a class, cloze, and that allows my background software to say, yes, I want to replace this text with all of these features. This data A, B, C, and D are the options. As you can see, data C is got up to there. And the answer, data answer here, is got up to. So that tells the software what the answer actually is. And as you can see, the hint for the text is there between those quotation marks, and the text for the phrasal verb is here. And within this format, we can do limited HTML formatting, like with a line break there, but not much more sophisticated than that. And then finally, there is also a term definition for the search function. And that's important. It might not be a good idea to search for a verb directly, because the verbs change tense. So for example here, got up to, the correct way to search for that would actually be get up to. That's the infinitive of that verb. So that's why that's a separate definition. And so that there generated this. The software does that automatically. And these terms that are defined in these data sets here are automatically populated into the pull-down menu and also into the printable options as well. So that's the simplest way to do hints and explanation. Okay, if you want to get a little fancier than that, for example, to embed multimedia, we can't quite do it in the same way, but there is an alternative. As you can see here, I've got multimedia in the hint, and there would also be in the explanation if we were logged in. But let me just show you how this works. Okay, so this is the word here, tinker. The first part is very similar to the previous example. We give it a class cloze so that the software knows, yes, I want to do something with this word and turn it into a gap fill cloze. And then we give the options, the alternatives here, and the answer. And then instead of directly embedding the hint text as we do up here, we point to another area on the web page where that information sits. And in this case, you can see hint tinker refers to this area here, ID hint tinker. And in there we can do whatever HTML we like. And in this case we've got an iframe to a YouTube video. So you can have video or audio, you can have tables, you can have whatever you like in there. And similarly for the explanation, that's there as well. Similar kind of thing. In addition to that, as I mentioned previously, you can also integrate it into your subscription plugin, if you like, on WordPress, and allow this content to be hidden unless someone is logged in. So that allows us to do multimedia in our hints and explanation. Okay, integration of the cloze quiz plugin into your WordPress website will depend on the theme that you have on your website. In my case, I run a theme framework called Thesis, and essentially what I need to do is add some programming code to the bottom of this page. And in my case, in this theme framework, I use the theme editor to enter this code. This is the code here at the foot of the page, and that then takes care of creating the quiz. Your theme might be similar, it might be different, but effectively that JavaScript code there needs to be inserted somewhere into your theme. And in addition to that, we also need to make some changes to the CSS to control the appearance, which is all totally customizable, but in my case that's down here. Yeah, so this CSS here is for the cloze styles. Okay, so the JavaScript code and the CSS appearance styles have to be integrated into your WordPress website. And then also the names of these functions here, for example this one to control the visibility of the sidebar, they also need to be integrated as well. And that will depend on your theme. So that's why it's a manual integration at this stage. But just contact me if you'd like this function to be added to your website. A cloze is a very powerful way to teach language and also to test language. In the future, we'll also be adding multiple choice and other types of questions to this cloze quiz. Thanks very much.